What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Master Wing channel. Thank you for stopping by. As always, before you forget, hit that like or subscribe button for me. A big favor, much appreciated. This channel is all about Wingspan, exploring new ways to win, new ways to lose, discussion, tips, any type of advice or strategy. We're trying to teach ourselves here. So we are hopping right into a game. It is post-commentary, but I don't recall all the moves. But I hit record because I thought it was interesting, worthwhile, and maybe something to add to your game or lessons learned from myself. As you can see, we are hopping right into round 2, and I'm debating. If you saw the thumbnail and the title, I'm debating putting the Raven in a habitat other than the grassland. So, and I'm gonna walk through some of these decisions as we go along, but as you can see, my opponent has the brown-headed cowbird, and that pink power, with the reduced grassland, it just almost completely negates a raven in the grassland at times. Not always. In the base game, it was annoying, but in Oceania, it's very annoying. So you're gonna see my struggle here because we have these cards in hand. Some of them are very high point value. I'm just debating, do I stick the Raven in the grassland, gain any nectar I want, etc. We have the gray teal down at the bottom. Like I said, round 1 was very underwhelming. We didn't have a great starting hand, but as of this recording, we did have the house rules. So even if we drew that Raven, we had to wait till round 2 to play it. And the gray teal lets me keep one of those wetland birds. We decided to keep the roseate spoonbill. And even with that grasshopper sparrow, reason number 1 for Raven in the forest is that brown-headed cowbird that I just mentioned. That's a huge reason why I'm really thinking in the long run, since I've got another 6 to 10 turns, didn't really do the math at this point, but got a lot of turns left. I think that cowbird would hurt me in the long run. Reason number 2 for the Raven in the forest, as we flop it down, is that the barred owl in round 1 was something to put in the forest, something to allow me to grab 2 food in the forest, but it doesn't help me gain any extra resources. It does have a couple tucks on it, but the Raven, of course, will help me get that extra food. So that was reason number 2 why I thought the Raven should go in the forest, because I've got, as you can see in my hand, a house sparrow, roseate spoonbill, and reason number 3 is the cards in hand. Like I just said, I have a house sparrow. I'd like all the extra seeds. I have a bonus card, and I have 2 extra cards that allow me to get a couple eggs here, the little bustard and the snowy owl. And so I have a few eggs. I started strong with the cisticola and the sparrow, thought maybe I could get those extra eggs, but once I saw the cowbird, it's just making me second guess it. So if you've wanted to try a Raven in the forest, this is the game. Maybe we can live and learn here and look at our opportunities. I picked up the gray shrike thrush just because it goes with my backyard birder. That might have been a poor choice at the time, but I thought it was another way to grab rats and or food. It has a very interesting brown power. I think you can cache all the rats on the bird feeder after you reset it, something like that. So here we are, gaining food. I think we're all caught up now. The round 2 end of round is birds greater than 4 points. And I like the cards we have in hand. The Cassin's Finch was something that popped up. I think obviously we let it go at this point. I think I'm more interested in getting some birds down. And I'm just wondering, with this Raven, do I have enough eggs for this game? Because obviously I'm going to be taking eggs away every time I gain food with a Raven. So here we go. My opponent drew cards. He did take that Cassin's Finch, maybe something to remember or an opportunity for us. He also has the Hooded Crow, so that kind of confirms my decision to move away from the grassland. Of course, the Hooded Crow, if you have an action cube, if another player has an action cube on the grassland, you get to tuck cards. So it was just another incentive to move away from the grassland, and maybe the Raven's good in the forest. I don't know. I know there's some debate about this card, and of course with the house rules, you're waiting till round 2. I'm just not sure if the Raven gets as much playability or, as they say, overpowered action as it did in the base game. My opponent plays Count Raji's Bird of Paradise. I don't know if he just did that. I think so. But that is a sharing bird, and we will take that. I think it passes out cherries for everybody. And this is more of a just play a bird scenario. I don't have any great engine going. Round 2, we're just building on that foundation. And House Sparrow, I'm not sure if I'm going to tuck anything at the end of this round, but in the long run, I may get some extra seeds from it. I'm really just picking when to use this Snowy Owl and the Little Bustard. I think this Snowy Owl play may be next, so I can get an extra egg. And we're sitting at 35 points. And my opponent has, I think, one of the best tuckers in the game, especially in Oceania, and that is the Bush Tit. That card probably needs a whole another video by itself, just to go in any habitat, the goals, the white powers that go with it. And we flop Passerine Specialist, so that was kind of disappointing, but Passerine and Backyard Birder does go with that gray shrike thrush I picked up, so maybe it might be worth it. And I've got a lot of low pointers on the board. 1, 2, 2, and 3. And somehow we pull off the end-around goal. We are the Green Emu. We put down that House Sparrow, and that let us win the end-around goal. And Red-Legged Partridge in the tray and Little Pied Cormorant. We do get to go first this round. I don't have a lot of platform nests. I'm just checking out if my opponent could use that Little Pied Cormorant. And unfortunately, the Red-Legged Partridge wouldn't do much for me just because I'd have to put it in the 4th slot and there's not a bird on the top or bottom of it. I'm debating whether to deny it or just let it go. And it looks like we take it. And we pull Golden Eagle, which we are fine with that. Remember, the gray teal can only pick it up or tuck it if it goes in the wetlands. So Golden Eagle came in clutch there. And I really don't see myself playing the Partridge. Little Pied Cormorant, I think, was just a precaution. I think maybe the Roseate Spoonbill and now the Golden Eagle, that Little Pied Cormorant, may be a play I look into. And my opponent gained food. I'm also thinking about the Splendid Fairy Wren. Not a bird I'm often going out of my way towards, but the yellow power on the Splendid Fairy Wren, check it out before I talk about the Fairy Wren. The Gray Shrike Thrush, that was a, let me see, that was a three-point play with Passerine, and then 3-point with Backyard Birder. So we completed both of those bonus cards on the low end, so that was 6. That was a 7-point Shrike Thrush coming in clutch. Kind of unassuming there. But anyway, that Splendid Fairy Wren, I think it lets you lay eggs on all birds under 30 centimeters. So with the board I've got going, I may look into that as well. It's also a star nest. Let me see, under 30 centimeters. I feel like I have a board that supports that, but since my opponent is not in a hurry to grab that, we are taking this opportunity to lay our eggs here, and we're laying as many eggs as possible. We did discard some cards, and this cowbird is going to activate, but hopefully we don't have to do that much. This is going to be just play what you have in your hand. And as far as the nectar battle goes, we are winning in the grassland. We're tied in the forest and the wetlands. Hopefully with this Raven, we can pull that off. I think this round, I probably need to get the, let's see, how many ground nests do they have? They only have 1 ground nest, and we have 4. So I don't even know if the Little Bustard is necessary. My opponent played the Ryebill. Of course, you're looking at all the discarded bonus cards. I think that card is really good. Majority of the time, I think you need to save that card towards the end of the game so there's more bonus cards to look through. And here we are, racking up the bird feeder food here, seeing what we need. And doesn't look like we have all the food necessary for this golden eagle. Well, with the shrike thrush, we gained all rats. Do we keep them or cash them? Choose how many rats you want to cash on this bird. We cashed them. We said, who cares? We have a common raven. That gray shrike thrush. Big shrike thrush energy. And 2 turns left in the game. Left in the round. Let me see. We have the eggs. I'm thinking we play golden eagle. And then, let me see. We could play the bustard or the spoonbill. What do we got next? My opponent drew birds again. Looks like we ignored that splendid fairy wren. Thought maybe that was something, but then the snow bunting, I don't know where that came from. I guess I was looking somewhere else, but if my opponent is using the bush tit, I'm wondering, does the snow bunting deserve attention? It is kind of late in the game. Here we go. Big golden eagle. We take those. And the few times we are going to lay eggs, I'm hoping that predator is successful. It was still 6 points. That's fine with me. And it's probably going to be 7 points because I'm seeing this little pied cormorant come into play more and more. It won't be a huge game in power, but I'm thinking the cormorant is nice. And I really want to pick up this splendid fairy wren looking back at this game. I don't know if we spend a turn here or not. I do have to get rid of a nectar, obviously, with the last turn in the game. We could draw 3 cards, or we discard that nectar for the eggs in preparation for round 4. So splendid fairy wren, maybe missed opportunity there. We'll see. This is going to be a 4, 5, then the cowbird, so it's back to 4, but then the golden eagle succeeds. So this is a 5-point turn. I'll take it. And the little bustard has probably run its course, I think, for the last end of round. Honestly, this raven, it's helped me a couple times. Helped me get the house sparrow down and helped me get the golden eagle down. And I think it's going to help me with this house sparrow at the end of the game. Let me know what you think in the comments about where this raven should go. I'm not saying it should always go in the forest. And I'm not saying it's dead in the grassland. But I've just seen these pink powers drastically affect my raven abilities. And you're thinking, man, I'm going to win all the nectar battles with the raven. But then some people have this huge forest engine and they win some of the nectar anyway. And stubble quail in the tray with the black crowned night heron. Those are some heavy hitters. And the stubble quail is still there. 5 turns left. I know we like the cormorant. I know we like the spoonbill. I think since my opponent left the stubble quail, we will go ahead and stack up on this food. I don't know. I would need a lot of food for stubble quail and house sparrow, which is possible. Definitely possible. My opponent, let's see, they drew cards. Let's see, we got our bonus cards going. Really just debating what kind of food I want. Do I want to discard this card? Do I want to spend the little bustard to draw a card? But if I draw the stubble quail, that's my last spot in the grassland. We're going to go ahead and do with what we know. And I think this spoonbill cormorant play is worth it. The cormorant, what is that, a 2? Then it'll be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so the cormorant would be a 7-point play. Recognition to the shrike thrush and the barred owl. No real powerhouse going, but I wanted to play these birds, see if we can get some better luck on this bonus card action. And so 2 of these last 4 turns, we're going to be playing cards. My opponent plays the Gold's Finch. Nice little air sando going. Come on, Spoonbill. 3 nectar in the wetlands. Show me something nice here. Large bird specialist or site selection expert. Gotta go with large bird specialist there. That secures the little pied cormorant. We've got the large bird specialist, and then we've got the passerine specialist. So that's an interesting combo. And we could play little pied cormorant, draw 3 cards, gain food, and then play stubble. Okay, so stubble quail gets picked up. That's how Wingspan goes. This last round has so many different combinations. We're just going with our steady Eddie here, just knowing what we can do. We for sure knew we wanted to play the spoonbill and the little pied cormorant. Hopefully that yellow power pays off in the end. But remember, that's not until after the end of round goal, so we do need to lay eggs at some point these last 2 turns. And honestly, I think we, I think since we couldn't get stubble quail, I don't think it's worth it to pick up the chestnut collared longspur. It's too late to draw cards. We're getting extra food. I think we just grab as many seeds as we can right here and then lay eggs. I think that's the move. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, I think that should work. And honestly, I mean, we didn't have to lay eggs that many times. I think we only did it like once per round, honestly. So maybe you can get away with this raven in the forest. Did I activate the raven a ton? No, but I didn't activate it as much as I would have if I just soloed in the grassland. We did great on the nectar battles. Looks like grassland and wetlands are okay. 7 and 7. That's usually enough to win. And you can see on the screen here, I'm just debating the next move. I think I will maybe cut out some dead time here. Okay. Bushtid has 8 tucks on it. That isn't more tucks than we have. And here we go, team. The one time you really don't want to get a bunch of nectar is at the end of the round, unless you have one of the Eurasian collared dove or the starling. And I'd love it if the shrike thrush hit again. Nope. Jinxed it. And we'll go ahead and take 2 more seeds. So that was, ultimately, it's going to be a 5-6 point play with the barred owl because we got 5 extra seeds out of that turn. And again, we're just avoiding laying eggs. I hate to make the cowbird that big a bird, but especially with the hooded crow, I think the raven worked out. There's that stubble quail, but they only got 1 egg on the stubble quail. That was interesting. And let's see. We may lose out on an egg on the golden eagle. Oh no, so we're still gonna win the end of round goal. So we didn't have to put an egg on the golden eagle because remember the yellow power is going to put an egg on the golden eagle later. A lot of calculation. If we were closer to the end of round goals, I would have just laid one on the golden eagle, but I didn't want to take away from the little pied cormorant. Kind of a weird game. You know, we did our best with the bonus card. Shrike Thrush was okay. And that pivot to the forest, I just thought that was worthwhile because you don't see many forest ravens, let alone in the Oceania expansion. Wanted to see how high we could get our score. We lay 5 extra eggs with the little pied cormorant. And we finally got some tucks under the house sparrow. The golden eagle did well. We made the most with what we had. It kind of just depends on what this gold's finch has and his bonus cards. Oh, Black Crown Knight here, and that's right. Could be trouble, people. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Again, don't forget to like or subscribe. And I've got some fun stuff coming up. I have some collabs coming up. Please don't miss it. It's going to be fun. I want you to be with me and watch these videos with me while we play Wingspan. Here's the scores. Let's do it, team. 43-45 bonus cards. Wow, we had more bonus card points at 12. We did do well on the EOR goals. Eggs. More tucks. It's looking like a solid game, people. 116.87 with a Forest Raven. Is it unbeatable? No. But did it work out? Yes. I think it was a nice pivot, the right decision. That Cowbird would have bit me. The Hooded Crow would have bit me. And my opponent had Fishery Manager, Omnivore, and whiffed on the Wildlife Gardener. Money Dan, wherever you are, great game. See y'all next time on the Master Wing channel. Hope you liked it. Peace.